Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing very well. First off, a big thank you to all the responses that I got from that last video about the direction of the channel that it was going. It was really cool, and a lot of the responses were not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting so many direct responses, so thank you very much for putting in the time with that. But there was a lot of sort of just do whatever. We're interested in seeing Australian culture, which was pretty cool. That's just not something that I really saw the channel as. With that in mind, it's given me a new sense of purpose for the channel, because I can already think of a few things that I can film that would be interesting for this channel now. So it's, it can be anything related to what the life of someone living in Australia would be like, or in my case, someone in far north Queensland, which is very different to everyone living in the south of Australia. I've just released a video, well, it was last night I released it, about the drainage story in my backyard and in regards to the flooding that happened a couple weeks ago. There's been some very interesting points pointed out about it, and I'm thinking I might do a follow-up video in the future addressing those on this channel. This is like a cool place to do some follow-up videos where you can explain the ins and outs about one of the videos on the main channel and dive into some more granular detail. So I'll probably do that. But so far, it's been pretty well received. It was a bit of a sort of a not really exciting video. It's something that I had to do, but essentially I dug a hole and put a pipe in. So I was a bit nervous about the response, but I guess a lot of people are interested in seeing how these problems get solved just from, say, a homeowner's perspective, what needs to be done. So yeah, so far it seems to have been pretty well received. I've been growing this little dude now for about 2 months. It's an avocado pear nut stuck in water, and it's doing really, really well. So the root system is basically formed, and this shoot is now coming up really well. And it's like in the last week or so, it's just done so well. It's just gone crazy. So hoping to get it into a pot soon. This is the first time I've done one of these, and pretty happy with how it's turning out. Come here. Hello. Can you sit for me? Can you sit? Yes, hello. I know. Oh, so many cuddles this morning. Can you sit for me? Do so. Sit. Thank you. On the camera. So speaking of typical Australian day-to-day life, I woke up this morning to a phone call from my neighbor whose small dog, it's like a Jack Russell sized dog, had been bitten by an eastern brown snake. Now, the eastern brown snake is known around Australia for being one of the deadliest snakes. It was only about a month ago that a 24-year-old guy died after being bitten. And the reason I mention a 24-year-old guy is because normally the people who die from snakes and spider bites are either very young or the elderly. So for a 24-year-old person to die that's pretty severe. So because of where I live, I'm quite close to the bush, and because Townsville is not a sprawling metropolis, it's still very regional. We get a lot of snakes here, and the eastern brown is unfortunately quite a common occurrence. I've seen a couple of them, and it's obviously got through his fence. He's done so much to try and protect his dogs because they've already been bitten once, and obviously got through, and it's ended up biting the dog, and it's gone off to the vet. And unfortunately, at this stage, this is the second time it's been bitten, so its body is compromised now, and the neighbor just said, I don't know if he's going to make it. So with this one in and around the yard, it's a bit worrying. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do. I can't just lock her up inside, and because then that's not a life for a dog. But at the same time, there are literally deadly animals coming through my yard, and if she goes for it, it will probably attack her back. One of the ways that I describe far north Queensland to my friends back home in South Africa is that joke that you hear about Australia just being full of deadly animals and everything's out to kill you. Far north Queensland is like the embodiment of that story.